Hey everybody, it's the Last Robo-Kai here, and welcome to episode 4 of Dawn of War, Winter Assault, the Order campaign. And we're just going to add an appellation onto this one as well. This is part 1 of 2 parts of Mission 4, because Mission 4 can be played 2 ways. This is also true of the Disorder campaign. So there are technically 4 possible ways to end this mission, which leads into each faction's individual ending challenge map. So that's a mouthful. But just think of it this way: we're doing a mission that can split off 2 ways depending on which faction we finish it as, and it was quite an interesting way that they set this up to be done. And it's the same map across both the Order and the Disorder campaign. You might call this the just the moment before the climax of the game. And it's a hell of a map. It's amazing. It perfectly exemplifies the slog that Winter Assault has been in a good way. And joining me, of course, is Cool Guy.
What up? I will gush more about the design of this mission once we're in it, because I have so many good things to say about the design.
Yeah, and we're going to have plenty of time because I'm going to be wrangling a very disobedient Land Raider, so let's get stuck straight in. This loading will take a little bit because this is the largest map that they throw at us.
I'm pretty sure it's the biggest one in the campaigns up to this point, actually. And it's not subtle. Which, you know, it makes sense. Like we were saying, it basically has to encompass 4 objectives.
Never have I encountered such an obstinate species. The orcs are victims of their nature, but these humans are willfully persistent and blind. How they survived is a joke the universe shares with no one, I'm afraid. But we can trust the humans to turn against us when the Titan is operational. That is why we must reach the Titan first with the Soul Stone. Only then can we hope to defeat the Necrons.
Necrons, and you believe the Eldar?
Their assertions mean nothing to me. I agreed to help them to keep them within reach and to aid us in destroying the enemy. I fully expect them to betray us at first opportunity. We must reach that Titan and get the crew in place before the Eldar do. Only one of us, Imperial or Eldar, will win the day. And the victor will be chosen here.
One thing I always find really funny about this is that you look at it and pretty much the alliance is already breaking down here. But when you do this as the Disorder campaign, there is no alliance. They're just shouting at each other and screaming at one another like children from the very beginning. It's great.
They really like it's one of the themes that I love most as far as the Disorder campaign. The two leaders just hate each other from the moment go. Like there's not even a little bit of a pretense at people working together. Like the Chaos Lord basically says, well, you know, if you fall in line and basically worship me, like, we can work together. And the Orc leader is just basically like, how about you eat a dick, dude? Like, it takes about a quarter second.
Yeah, this entire map is a giant fortification. The Imperial Guard have set up to try and essentially defend the position of the fallen Titan, because we're after a Titan, as they've been repeatedly saying, and the Eldar need to get there with their special Spirit Stone because they want to use it to destroy the Necrons that are going to come bouncing up. The Imperial Guard want to retrieve their Titan, so they're going to need to reactivate it, and so it's their plans, as we'll learn, are not what plans that overlap. Even mistrust aside, it's not going to work out for them. So from this point on, it's whichever one you choose to play as unlocks their specific path to their specific fun mission and their specific ending. And it's a very large map. You can sort of notice up near the picture next to Stern, there's a picture of a fire dragon with an arrow. If I were to press that button, it would set all of the Imperial Guardsman units essentially to like an NPC status, and And effectively, they would stand around and not do much, or much of anything at all. They would take reduced damage. And the Eldar would become playable. The Eldar are elsewhere on the map in a similar situation right now, just, doing absolutely nothing, and they will continue to do absolutely nothing because they're not going to switch anyone over for this mission. Not even for the sake of fulfilling the objective for it. Because when you do that, it does kick off the Ultramarines a little early, because we can't control them either, but we do have a sort of an ability to get them to behave themselves. The Stern can, if he gets close enough, and unfortunately the range is a little closer than I'd like, you can sort of direct him to come back, and I've made a mistake, because I want to essentially take him up this western side of the battlefield, directly through this base, up and around. And what this does is it avoids us having to try and take that middle thing that's being shown off there, because that takes us right past the enemy base. And you have to do a lot of waiting for gates and things like that. I'm guessing the intended design is to, take it up the middle, I guess. But at the same time, you don't have to. And the game accommodates that absolutely well without any problems. There is a problem, pathing.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same problem we've had this entire Let's Play, is that the pathing, the A-star algorithm can't handle this game. Plain and simple.
Yeah, pathing is bad enough when it's a situation where you're trying to tell your troops to go somewhere. In this particular case, it's a nightmare solely because our buddy here will periodically just go, no, I'm going back to the original way because of reasons.
Yeah.
Someone had pointed out actually in the thread, we've been a little bit mistaken in regards to the way the buildings function. Units don't fire out of them. They what essentially does is the more units you have in it, the more powerful the weapons used by the bunker are. So a single unit in there will be a las pistol, 2 units will be plasma guns,
heavy bolters.
And the third one is heavy bolters.
Did I get that backward? I thought it was heavy bolters and then plasma.
Maybe, I don't know.
Okay, whichever.
Honestly, I just thought it was firing. I just always thought it was my troops firing out because I just usually put troops with plasma guns in it. Shows how observant I am. Wow, great informative Let's Play. Now I gotta be wrong about at least. I always say this. I'm wrong about at least one thing every single episode.
I mean,
so even in my correction, I'm probably wrong.
Meh, whichever. The point is that these are the capabilities, and now with the.
There he goes.
We shall return to the scribe route.
Scribe's route. Shut your damn mouth, dude.
Varnus is the Land Raider is kind of fun. I actually really like the Land Raider in this mission because enemies will be always making a beeline for it. The demons that we teleport down always teleport down on the command squad as well, so it's kind of it's a little bit of a pain in the bum in that regard, but at the same time, I can see why they designed it that way. Because if you're keeping your command squad near it to pull it along, of course the demons are going to pop down there. But that also means that you can pull it away if you need to prank the enemy.
Those horror squads are and pulling them away is actually something that's strictly optimal, because those horror squads are the cheap anti-vehicle and anti-building that the Chaos have. That's basically their way of handling it. And I'll get more into that with the Disorder campaign.
And one thing that's kind of nice is as the Ultramarines die, more Ultramarines just fucking deep strike in, and you'll eventually start getting things like Terminators and whatnot to defend them.
Just pissed off. This is enough of this garbage.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing that I really wanted to gush about, now that we've gone over the core concept of this mission, is just how lovely and innovative it is for them to handle a alternative choice and diverging path mission in quite this way, because basically what we are seeing here is you can resolve this in multiple different ways, but you have to put effort into it. It's not just a matter of clicking a button and saying, okay, now you've got this on your plate. You have to actually put effort into it, and just as critically, you can use the people or the force that you don't care about to advance your overall goals. There there is absolutely a use case for building up the Eldar, using their resources, because they have completely a separate requisition, to just suicide into a hard point that you don't want, that you are hung up on as the guard, and then just have the guard sweep by. Just be like, okay, cool, thanks for that. We're gonna keep moving now. There's so many ways that you can interact with and react to the way that this is set up, and it's just brilliant. It is absolutely brilliant, and I have to tip my hat to Relic for not just coming up with it, but also having the expertise to go through with it, because this cannot be easy. Like, this has got to be an absolute mind fuck to program in. It's got to be even worse to test.
It may be the reason why Dark Crusade became much more of a different sort of campaign to Dawn of War and Winter Assault. Also, people kind of wanted what Dark Crusade was bringing. A lot of people just wanted a map to conquer. So.
Yeah, I disagree with them. I will amicably disagree with those people.
So I've just kind of ignored them for a moment. I really shouldn't, because they're basically driving themselves into a point not far from like very large chaos emplacements. But it's still this is still shorter than the other mission, so I am eventually going to get that naughty boy wrangled.
What you ask? The transport is under heavy assault. Cleanse this chaos.
I'm like, oh god, they've moved all the way over there. God damn it.
Yeah, like ultimately, there's no reason for the Land Raider to be that far back at this point. Which is both good news and bad news. The good news is that if you can get his rear in gear, like you're gonna have a much easier time of it. By the same token, like, good freaking luck. The only person who can attempt to wrangle him is Stern. But the other way that you can handle it is that the Land Raider will eventually move down its prescribed, like, pre-programmed path if you just leave it be for too long. So you can just say F it and move along with it. That's gonna take a long ass time though. Like you're gonna be playing this mission for like an hour, and it's gonna meander through most of the enemy hard points in the entire bloody map.
Yeah, we'll see that with the Eldar campaign, because like it gets moving and then goes to a certain point and like stops.
Right.
I'll take care of it.
I think really at this point I was just kind of like, you know, I'm actually not entirely sure why I let it go on as long as I did. I should have just like let it just keep coming. But I think I finally sent in reinforcements to help it, and then I'll start pulling it in the correct direction.
I mean, you do basically, like, one of the quirks of the AI here is that you pretty much do. It's pretty much a requirement for you to disentangle the transport before it'll listen to you again, because it will not move under fire. It's one of the. I remember that specifically as being one of the most obnoxious things on the planet.
Dead set just not listening right now.
Yeah, and it's just so you would think that as a transport it would be like, okay, cool, yeah, I need to move my butt. No. It's going to kill anything in front of it, and then it might consider moving. So painful.
It's the power of the Space Marines behaving like cats.
Catvitus turns out was.
I was a little worried too, because at one point I was like, "Are we gonna have to like?" It's breaking. He's dropping drop pods on my troops and destroying them.
Yeah, scaring the crap out of them.
Hilarious to me.
Particularly with the sergeant yelling about retreating again, he'll shoot you. No, I just got scared because somebody dropped like a 80-ton like iron drop right next to me. Like, did you not piss yourself? God damn it!
The Land Raider will trip on its own troops a lot as well.
Oh look, it's an assault terminator, a single assault terminator. Do not underestimate it. That dude is here to fuck.
Yeah, no, there's plenty of power to spare on these things. Yeah, so there's the
Oh,
the
buddy.
Vindicare assassin carrying his Exeter's rifle. He's not really gonna do that much. I mostly just build him just to build him. Like, there's gonna be a few troops that are gonna like try and make their way up via our base. So I'm going to like build a lot of the command units and just like leave them there. And they're just gonna like so there'll be like commissars and priests and stuff just like individually fighting.
My lord.
Keep driving.
You almost need to go down to the hard point that it's marking at this juncture just because it's like the constant trickle of enemies is not going to let the stupid Land Raider move.
No worry, we'll get there. I'm adamant about getting this going because it just felt like trying to get to that other location was going to take longer, whereas a fighting retreat feels like it's just going to work better.
I mean, you're probably right, but it feels a lot worse to do.
Yeah, a lot of people would probably have lost their patience with this already and maybe sent their entire army down to like try and destroy the Chaos base.
I would have gotten to the point where I was just restarting the map and being like, all right, I'm going to figure out a build order, and I'm going to absolutely crush everything because I'm tired of this garbage.
I do recall in the times when I've beaten this game, I think I spent a lot of time just letting the tank do what it wanted while I destroyed all the enemy bases and everything like that. And I maybe have like
so satisfying.
Just parking like turrets and stuff outside of like the enemy bases so they couldn't come out.
Speaking of parking.
Get out of here, you bum. So, full-scale war is a big upgrade that you can only get, like, you can get Lehman Russes to build after you actually do that. So it's well worth getting.
Well, you finally did manage it. You finally did manage to lead that big bastard through your base.
And it'll, like, there'll still be plenty of that going on. But now that we've got a ridiculous amount of resources, more than we can actually possibly do in one go, we'll just get that started.
All of those upgrades are so giant.
Yeah, well, these guardsmen will basically just become monster muscle men by the end of this. Like, I wouldn't even have to attach like any units to them. They'll basically just like be flexing really hard at orcs and Chaos Space Marines, and everyone will just be like blinded. They're like
Cadians.txt.
And Cadians will be just like, you think it's cold on Norn 5, and flexes their flak armor just shatters off. It's just like they're like well chiseled chests.
Even the
My nipples ain't even stiff for the Emperor right now. When they are, it'll be because of killing, not the cold.
Even the Emperor's children are just sort of like, damn.
We quit. The entire like Slanesh just like Slanesh basically becomes like those weird pictures where like where someone is uncorrupted and turns into like a nice studious little person instead of like a drunken party animal. I make a mistake. I try to get it to go through this like small gap when you're really gonna make it go around. So there's gonna be a Land Raider angling yet to go. This mission probably would have been 20 minutes if I wasn't spending so much time trying to get this fucking Land Raider to go where I want it to. But god damn it, I'm going to make it do what I want.
Effectively what you're saying is that this would have been 20 minutes if it would have done what you wanted to begin with. Because like if you didn't worry about that, then you like if you didn't worry about that, then it would have gone its own way and we would have been here an hour.
Sweet, sweet fire.
There is something incredibly satisfying about watching a Hellhound torch a whole bunch of horrors, even if I know for a fact that that is a losing battle for the Hellhound.
So they're like largely ignoring my troops and running off to get into a fight with the Land Raider and getting shot by literally everything along the way. Like they're just so not interested in the card. But I needed to get over there because I needed more machine building.
Yep, need more vehicle cap.
Because we can't build anything. Like, yes, you probably all saw it when I was building the thermal generator. But I can't actually build any structures. Anything I get is because Sturm walks up to it, like, and it has to have a light pillar on. I just can't take literally every bunker on the map. It has to have a little light pillar on it, and Sturm goes, I'm taking command of this structure. And up in the top left, there, like, I suppose you can call it the northernmost point of the map. That's where the Mars pattern building requisition site is, and that's a very important building, because that's where we get the Pain Blade from.
Yes, indeed.
So we definitely want to go get that. All right, let's get some all-out war going. That'll take a while. Because it takes a while, it's good to have it in that other building so that like the main building can still produce tanks as I need them.
Man, I've never quite gotten over why they made the Sanctioned Psyker the highest quote unquote ranked character in the command squad. It's just every time you click on your command squad, you hear that like barely contained psychopath ranting about nothing.
I just love his voice. It's the Trump effect.
The what?
Okay, so Super Robot Wars original generations, right?
Oh, the Tromb. Yeah, okay. Definitely go on tell this story. This is a great story.
There's this game I'm very fond of. It's a game series that's about as old as Fire Emblem and sort of similar lines. If you need a sort of a mental descriptor, turn-based game, but it all uses like mechs, and they've got like two franchise sort of that they use. One where it's like original characters that have come from like the other games, which are licensed games, so they'll often have like an original protagonist, but then they'll combine all the different mech franchises from Japan and things like that. You don't often see it out of Japan because of like licensing issues. So, I'll talk about it every now and again. In the original game, of the original generation that they did, it was on the Game Boy Advance. And so it came out, and there was this one character in it who is originally, for much of the game, a boss. And the way that boss music works in Super Robot Wars games like that is that the boss theme will play regardless of who's fighting them. Usually everyone has their own theme songs that play when they do an attack that shows up during their things. But against bosses, you'll typically get the boss theme. And so later on in the game, after he's had his sequences being a boss, he joins you. And for whatever reason, they didn't set that as a tag off of him at that point. So his boss music would play over Boss's boss music. And his song is Trom, which is an amazing song, by the way.
It is good.
It's
pretty great.
It probably wouldn't have been as amazing if it wasn't for the fact it was that song. So they thought it was so funny, it is now a tradition in all of their games, where you can't change his theme song from Trom to anything else. The game will not let you do it. You can change other characters.
It will literally tell you no.
It basically says no. You can't change it.
No. His theme is Tromb.
And the other thing is that it will still play over every single boss. I think except the very final bosses of the game. There was in one of he also appears in like the Alpha series, and somewhat hilariously, I think one of the bosses in the Alpha series, when he encounters them, has an override on him because his entire ship is like playing Blue Danube through speakers. If I'm remembering correctly, that's actually one of the characters from Gal Gaigar. And that's the only reason. Is because somebody basically heard it and just cranked their volume up so it was playing louder.
No. That is definitely like a running theme with certain characters in Super Robot Wars. Is that there's a low grade competition to see who can be the most petty.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a thing. People like to see who can get away with their nonsense the most and the loudest.
So good, very orky in that way. To bring it back to Warhammer 40k. Surprisingly enough,
God, I finally get around this fucking corner.
Yeah, I mean, like, fortunately, we've got all sorts of stories to talk about in the meantime while the Land Raider figures its life out. It's just it's the senior and open option in college, just really trying to take its time and figure out what it wants to do with his life. Everybody else is just sort of like, what are you doing? Everybody else just can't figure out why it is making everybody else's life so difficult.
It took us 4 missions, but we have finally built a Lehman Russ, the workhorse of the Imperium.
God help you if you ever run up against one, because holy crap.
Yes, they are extremely hardy vehicles. As we said in Dawn of War, the Lehman Russ is a beast. It works hard, it fights hard, and now we got one. I'm like totally wasting the Vindicar, just like keeping him inside the building. As you can see, I'm just like building more dudes because I just got like more money than I know what to do with. So whatever.
I love the Psyker just kind of plinking away, just be chilling.
Of course I will. So the Vindicar Assassin is also the host of, like, I didn't mention this in the last episode, but we might as well talk about it. One of the funnier like stupid Warhammer 40,000 memes regarding Dark Crusade is the Vindicar Assassin and Farseer Taldir having a weird romance, which has resulted in a lot of images of them settling down and having children. It's just one of those weird wholesome things. It's like he refuses to kill her and like protects her instead, and then they basically just like leave and settle down, and it's basically known as love blooming on the like it's basically the question, can love bloom on the battlefield from Metal Gear Solid.
I'm revolted because it involves Eldar.
And the response is love can bloom. And that's basically what it's typically referred to as.
I'm revolted because it involves Eldar. like the concept I'm fine with, but it involves Eldar, so I'm inherently opposed to it.
Well, you know, like, it used to be in the older things, half Eldar, half human children weren't looked down by the Imperium. There was there was like an old Ultramarines librarian who was part Eldar.
I'm pretty sure that's not that's like basically been expunged as a thing from recent codices.
Yeah, I think the only still existing idea that it's possible for Eldar and humans to interbreed, I think the general stance is most of the time it like fails horribly, and the child is like a mutated freak. But I think there's like Necromunda guy who might be part Eldar.
Oh man, I forgot about that.
Yeah, but that's Necromunda. Necromunda is a wonderful can of worms as well. I could talk about Necromunda and all the fun things about that for fucking years.
We might have time for it because like when I get to this point in the Disorder campaign, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say we might be out of things to talk about that are directly related to the game, because we're gonna have a lot of time to go over it.
Yeah. Well, we're building the Baneblade now, so it's gonna be a lot easier to keep enemies off of the Land Raider in a moment.
Very well. We will make use of this.
The Baneblade is basically stop. Just stop trying.
Now, I'm gonna spend way too long trying to get it to go around this corner, around the Mars Pattern Command building, and it's just like, nah, I shouldn't have. I should have made him go down the other way and around, because he just will not go past. He'll get hung up on stuff. He won't go around. He'll get hung up on the Baneblade as well. Like probably the biggest failure I got going here is I keep trying to path units through things that they really just cannot path through with troops in the way. Like I keep doing it to myself. And
friggin' Titan crew has been a MacGuffin the entire time. You would think they could at least drive the goddamn car.
So Land Raider will not allow them to drive. It wants to drive itself.
Titan crew wants to be badass, but its Land Raider won't let them.
Essentially, yes. I cannot even imagine what like a conversation between a Praetor of a Titan, which is the name of the pilots, I believe, Praetor. And a fucking Land Raider would be like, because they probably could communicate. They've got all the necessary ports and jacks to do it. That's like I think because like we did talk about it, didn't we? We basically said that the Titan is a creature that and I say a creature, it's essentially got a will of its own, built up from like multiple pilots and things like that. So many systems to allow it to like walk and everything on its own. That the thing is a terrifying thing to hook yourself up to. And there is a comic about it, and I think it's actually called Dominatus. I can't remember. But it's about this young Praetor who's never been in a Titan before, and essentially as part of his training, he's sent to it's basically like going to school and then having a special trip where you go and you watch someone work. And so he gets to meet one of like this near ancient, amazing Warlord Titan pilot, which is what we're dealing with now. We're dealing with the Warlord Titan, and they're essentially the second biggest, second only to the Imperator. And
the Dominatus is actually an Imperator. I checked this out after our last week.
It looks like I don't believe so. Like, because it's
Lexiconum says it is. Lexiconum says it is.
It looks more like a warlord to me, but I'll I'll let them do it if that's what they think it is. But it's also a little small to be a castle bot, if you ask me. Like, to me, it's warlord titan sized, but whatever. But like,
I don't disagree with you.
In the comic book, the warlord titan is like basically what happens is that the mind of this very old praetor burns out in the chair hooked up to the Titan in the middle of a fight, and like the crew are just like, oh, we're fucked, aren't we? And they go, well, we've got someone who can pilot it here, and they're like, he's never piloted anything before, and we're gonna stick him into one of the most ancient and beloved machines. They're gonna shit their bricks at us for this, and they're like, we could also just die horribly. And so they do it. They hook him up.
The Titan in the process.
Yeah. And so they hook him up, and that's of course when he learns, oh my god, the will inside of this machine is giant and terrifying. But luckily for him, the old man's mind is in there as well, and he acts as an advisor to him. And so this thing is like about these amazing like giant robot fights, and just like the frailty of man, and like the magnificence of this disturbingly powerful and humongous machine. It's a really good comic series that I really enjoyed. And there's like fights against like Gargants, fights against like Chaos Mechs, things like that. It's really cool. And there's like, they still do like things like fighting in snow, like sandstorms and things like that. It's really just, it's a damn good read. I don't remember anything about it that was like upsetting.
Yeah, the really good part about that particular comic is that it does a very good job of bringing home exactly how big a lot of these Titans are. Like, to Robokai's point, by the way, an Imperator Titan is supposed to be something like 55 meters tall. In that ballpark, I forget exactly how specific it or how tall it's supposed to be, but it's like 160 feet tall. Like the giant robots that we all know and love from our childhood, they still ain't shit compared to an Imperator. A Warlord, I believe, is supposed to be about 20 meters shorter than that. Like I can Google that real fast if I really wanted to, but I'm not certain I care enough. but it's not a subtle difference, is the point, right? And the thing is that because of the scale like that is very rarely done well in particularly digital media like video games and so forth. Simply because the camera has to work for everything involved. Like off camera here, I've been bitching to Robokai every so often that on my Disorder playthroughs, I frequently feel strangled because I'm controlling so many orcs, and an orc model is just as big as a Space Marine. So if I've got literally 100 orcs on screen, it's just like I can't see anything but orc butt. My entire life is orc butt. So it's a real question on how exactly you're supposed to handle a lot of these things, and that particular comic does just an incredibly good job, partially in its feel towards the frailty of man and the infinitesimally small scale that humans have in the universe, by contrasting it against the Titan, which is actually properly scaled. It feels really good.
They will often do some very clever panel usage that will when showing off a mech, they will often have a full page so that you can capture this thing in all of its scale and glory. It's like it's very well laid out as well in the art. Like the machines are very wonderfully. So yeah. So we apparently got a psychic shield here. It's like, okay, like I don't know. They got some psychic people plugged into that shield so things can't get in. The only way we're gonna get in is by taking that command post to show that we're in charge. That'll open it up, and then I can tell this fucking land raider to get in. It's still just.
I'm gonna need you to go, okay?
Now it's just getting hung up
We
on
gotta go to
Ultramarines.
work.
Like, I moved everybody else out of the way, now it's just getting hung up on Ultramarines.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Go away. Oh no, it even got in the psychic gate.
I'm sure it's fine. Look, he left on his own. Told you.
Now, for a moment, I briefly considered saving the game right here, beating it here, and then reloading the Eldar campaign, and just beating the Eldar campaign from exactly the same position.
I'm tempted to do that on the Disorder campaign. I'm trying.
When I play Disorder, that's what I actually do. I do that. Like I do it all in one playthrough, but just like from different saves. I will be doing the Eldar one from scratch though, just to show it's entirely possible and easy enough to do. I would definitely say the Order side of this thing is a lot easier. The fail state is a lot harder to get to for Order than it is for Chaos and Greenskins.
The rough part for Order versus Disorder on this one is that like Robokai said, the alliance between Human and Eldar has already functionally dead, but on the battlefield they're still pretending like they like each other. So when you switch sides, everything is still blue. Like you can't just go and attack the other power as Eldar or whatever. That is not true for Disorder. Like the Chaos and Orcs just fucking hate each other, and anything that I do to power up Chaos to do something is probably going to get directly in my way as Orcs, or vice versa.
It's like, come on, come inside, please.
Like, it's not even a superior path, it's 10 feet ahead, man. You're killing us.
Okay.
Oh, good.
I've held that line long enough. I need to get these guys over here to take care of these problems.
God damn it!
I know, right?
That is one thing that I won't be sad about on the Disorder campaign. I'm not gonna have to deal with fucking demons getting spawned into the middle of my path.
Thankfully, the Eldar don't have to deal with that either.
Bleh.
Honestly, the Eldar one's a walk in the park compared to what I did during this one.
Oh my god.
God, don't drop a drop pod right in front of it, for God's
Fucking
sakes!
joking?
I swear to God, Space Marines, they're like hurting fucking kittens. Are we sure there's not a kitten inside of that Terminator armor? Here we go, though.
Finally. Thank you.
This is General Stern of the Cadian 412th Regiment Imperial Guard. Only fools believe that the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Still, the Eldar proved useful enough to bring my men into position, admittedly at cost to their own lives. They lay outside, being cut to the last as I speak. I cannot risk helping them. I will not trade the lives of my men for theirs.
You will fail this day, General. Without our soul stone, the battle will be lost. The Necrons will sweep over you and drink your life out from the hollow vessel of your corpse. Without us, you face your doom.
Eldar! The Cadian 412th have faced doom before. We bested it then, and we will best it today. Die well.
You know, I didn't notice when I first played this, the dude somehow slipping through the fucking psychic gate and attacking the fuck.
He's just poking his gun through, taking a few
and
couple
Orc
pot
actually
shots
steps
left.
through and goes, "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I ruined the immersion of the cutscene." You just hear my spleen in the background. Yeah, so that was the Imperial Guard ending, and I do quite like Stern's lines there. But
Yep.
there is still more we have yet to see on this map, and next time we will be running Eldar through it. We will not be hurting a land raider. We will instead be absolutely just burning up the alliance that we had with the Imperial Guard.
Yeah.
So, I've been the Last Robo Guy,
And I have been Cool Guy.
and we'll see y'all next time in part 2 of Mission 4 of the Order of Dawn of War, Warhammer 40,000, Winter Assault. Everything's out of order. Bye.
The soundtrack!